Yo guys, what's going on? Kyle with the Car Guys. I'm with Josiah. What's going on, Josiah?
What's going on?
I heard, a lot of people have been requesting this deck profile from you for the past few times we put you on the camera, and we finally did it again, and then you went ape shit, so I figured I'd go ahead and give the deck profile and give everybody, like, you know, a little bit of what this deck's about before we actually get into the last duel. Do you have any shout-outs or anything you want to give? I know you had one in particular.
I actually own Play to Win Games. We'll put my link down in the description if you guys need any cards. I try to have all sorts of stuff in stock, so just hit me up if you ever need something.
Awesome. Yeah, link will be right here. I'll try to put it right here and then down in the description below. But yeah, you're playing Lightsworn, so let's go ahead and get into this and you know, see your list. I know you've been playing this since you got the Minerva, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've played this deck a lot over the years. I've done fairly well with it, and the Minerva actually makes it playable in the current format.
Yeah.
Not exactly consistent. You know, I'm not expecting to win a YCS with it or anything, but it is a lot of fun to play.
Awesome. Well, yeah, let's look at your list here.
All right, so we got 2 Judgment Dragons. 3's too clunky. Probably shouldn't be playing this guy at all, but say what you want. This card murders Monarchs. Yep. So I'm playing 2 regardless. 2 Garroth. This card is honestly the best card in the deck. I can trigger him about 20 times per turn. It's pretty ridiculous. I'll get a little bit more into that later. 3 Raiden, Tuner, Mill Effect. If I have a bad hand, I could potentially mill like a Wolf or Felice. If you have Instant Fusion and him in the graveyard, he's free 8-star. Scarlight's really good.
Of course.
Lumina. 2 of these guys. These things suck. They're absolutely terrible. The only thing they're relevant about is pitching out bricks and making Michael. And Michael can save your life. But other than that, Lumina sucks. Got 2 Lilas. Nobody likes Floodgates. I don't like out. Or I have to be able to out domain somehow. So 2 of these guys that adds a name. Plays for JD. It can make Trapeze Magician, but I ended up taking it out with the Clown Engine. But 2 of these guys. 2 of the Bad Minerva. This thing triggers Garroth whenever it's milled. It's a tuner, which is extremely relevant. Great recharge target, extra name, and it actually has another effect that nobody pays attention to. If you have 8 different named Lightsworn monsters, you can summon this and search a Judgment Dragon, and that actually comes up a lot more than you would think.
I had no idea that was even an effect. Whoa.
3 Goblinberg, because this is a deck full of crappy normal summons. It's free Minerva every time you summon this guy, as long as it doesn't get negated. But it just turns any of your Wolves, Felices, or any of your crappy normal summons into live cards. It's also Earth. Nat Beast is a card. The 3 Wolf, 3 Felice. These cards suck, but if you mill them, they're absolutely broken. Only 2 of this. You can get clogged on these pretty often because your board stays pretty full. But I'll go into that with the extra deck. Her being a tuner is relevant. I almost never use the pop effect, but it does exist. Mm-hmm. And she's another tuner for the instant fusion target. Okay. So free instant fusion 8 plays is broken. 1 hat tricker. You're gonna have 2 monsters on your board the majority of your games. So he'll normally be live, and he's an Earth. So I mean, ideally going second, he can equal up to a Minerva even if your hand is total garbage.
And you play Nat Beast.
Nat Beast is broken, kills half the format. And Glow Up Bulb. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's the 1-star tuner that you would play in Lightsworn to go into Nat Beast. Pretty consistent. Like Trish is a real card. I mean, Glow Up Bulb's just a solid card. It can also trigger Wolf and Felice, which blind luck does happen. Mm-hmm. The Brilliant Fusion Garnet package. You have to play double Garnet. You're playing a Lightsworn deck. So playing Recharge on your first turn and drawing into the Brilliant Fusion is real, and it's very possible that you'll mill your only 1 if you're dumb enough to only play 1. There is no possible way you can play less than 2 of these.
So 2 makes sense, yeah.
Right, so 2 makes sense. You're playing a deck that randomly mills, like you don't want to charge. This card's insane. There's a whole lot of really broken combos. I know I went off on my opponent in the video before. This turns all your normal summons, which the deck is full of, into just absurd combos. This with Garroth, you can actually send Wolf or the crappy Minerva. And so if you open like Garroth, Brilliant Fusion, you can send this, trigger Garroth immediately. Then if you're lucky enough to have an instant fusion, you can actually just revive this thing, summon blank Lightsworn 4-star, exceed with the Norden and the blank 4-star into the Minerva, trigger Garroth again, sync with this that you revive off the Norden into like an Omega or Scarlight or whatever 8-star you want to play.
Yeah.
to discontinue your combo, unclog your board, gives a use to the tuner part, gets the Sapphire off the board because that guy sucks even worse.
Awesome.
So, Brilliant Fusion package. 3 recharge, because the card's insane. Double charge, also insane, like pretty straightforward. I'm playing a Lightsworn deck. Triple instant fusion. I play 3. I actually side the second Norden for any game. I side out the Treacherous in the deck. I play 1 of Treacherous Trap Hole, but you're gonna side out the Treacherous a lot because of the side deck options. Like a lot of times you're gonna put in like Breakthrough Skill or Royal Decree or something, and like you side the second Norden because triple instant fusion does come up, and game 1 it's not as important because you're probably only getting 1 turn anyway.
Yeah.
And this card, if you like charge out a random 4-star, you can instant fusion back, free Minerva, and that's always insane. Like I said, free 8-star plays, which is broken. The having 2 does come up, but I can play Emerald, so 3 instant fusion.
Awesome.
Rhoda, half my targets are warriors. Goblinberg's a card. Raiden, Garoth, have a ton of targets for this pretty obvious card. Foolish Burial, pretty same concept. Like Foolishing a Wolf is real if your hand sucks, and I mean triggering Minerva, getting all sorts of broken plays off of Foolish. I mean it's pretty straightforward. Soul Charge, you open this, you pretty much win. Like let's be real, Soul Charge is broken, and the 1 Treacherous I talked about earlier.
Awesome. What about this extra deck then?
Well, I wouldn't even attempt this if I didn't have this. This thing makes the card playable, or makes the entire deck playable. The card's absurd. If anyone doesn't know what it does, draws you a bunch of cards. Like I can plus like 12 cards off of this if I have like this Garoth, and continue, just keep going. Card's broken. You only play 1 because this is a format that you only have 1 or 2 turns anyway, and you can only activate once per turn. So the second one has literally never come up, and if it did, I would have gotten a second one. Norden Sapphire, I already talked about these. Instant Fusion and Brilliant Fusion are both absolutely absurd. Like, anything that ends up with this is normally very good. So these are pretty straightforward. I've gone into any of the real reason. Like I said, I played the Rafflesia. I wanted a card that let me go first and actually be able to not die, because this format can just kill you. And it's actually the same reason I play Giant Hand, because if I mill Treacherous, then I want something else to go into that's not just dead. Okay. And like I said, Rafflesia gets sided out a lot game 2 because of the traps that I can put in, making Giant Hand just better. But I wanted both of these specifically because milling the Treacherous at random is a real thing.
Okay.
Basic 4 ranks. I mean, Burning Abyss is running around everywhere. Castell answers threats, not affected by Lightmere. Turns out you can book a Moon Monarchs, and that's really good. Direwolf, pretty basic 4 ranks. Emerald, a lot of people tell me to cut this card. I tell them you're playing Lightsworn. Ever shuffle 3 Judgment Dragons back into your deck, it's broken. It's like I have a deck of 5 cards, 2 of them are Judgment Dragon. What are you going to do? Eventually I'm going to drop 1 and kill you. Double Omega, I play this guy because the putting banished cards in the graveyard is completely irrelevant. That almost is, I think that's come up once in all the time I've played this deck, but this guy gets off the field, and that's relevant because you can mill
your board up. And
right, you can open your board for, like, you can continue on milling Wolves and Felice, and like with all the mill power this deck has, like being able to trigger Garoth 1,000 times, you can go double Omega very easily, and just have them start with 4 cards in hand plus your Minerva Giant Hand or Rafflesia or whatever you end up with.
Okay.
So awesome. 2 of these is actually really relevant. Scarlight card's insane. This card's Dark Hole, clears boards. It's 1 card instant fusion. Like, this is just a 3rd Judgment Dragon that's playable as instant fusion. Yeah, I mean, this card's broken. Like, I don't think enough people are playing it, and with Damage Juggler not in the game, this card is absurd.
Yeah.
Michael, one of, comes up occasionally, gets out of things that just don't want to destroy, kills Dantes and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, the only real way to make it is either the Minerva with a 4-star or the Lumina or with a Raiden or Felice, which is far more likely. Don't go into it that often, but shuffling the monsters back when it gets destroyed is pretty relevant, because you can put back Wolves and Felices and stuff to try to hit off your all your mill power. So kind of relevant. Doesn't come up that often, but it comes up enough to justify playing it.
Okay.
Nat Beast, pretty straightforward. Like, ideally game 1 you end up with this like giant hand Minerva, whatever, and you can just win the game off of this.
Of course.
And not to mention, if they try to just play spells, you can actually trigger Wolves and Fleeces off of this. So that's pretty broken. I mean, not particularly relevant, because normally if this card's going to kill them, they're actually dead. But still cool card. And Trishula, because Global's a card. Card's just generally speaking pretty good. Doesn't come up a whole lot, but sometimes you need to kill things that you can't target, and Trishula is a good way to do that. It's easy enough to go into.
Awesome. Well, Josiah, thank you for the deck profile. A lot of people have been asking for it for literally a couple months now, so
yeah,
thank you for finally agreeing to this deck profile. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, the deck's a whole lot of fun to play. I wouldn't play it without a Minerva, but I mean, it's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this deck for years. I've been having fun playing it up at Super Games.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you again. This has been Kyle with the Card Guys, and don't forget to check out his store down below. Play to Win Games, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Click it. Later, guys.